Well, they do say when it rains, it pours, and in this case, it snows. Here you go. Well, welcome to sunny Suffolk. I don't think so. So this weather is completely not normal for us down south. We get some snow, but not this much. It's about -2 degrees centigrade at the moment, with wind chill is about -17. And you can see the wind has made some quite big snow drifts over there. So the trip here today was absolutely treacherous. Britain is not used to the snow anyway, especially down south, and now we live in a rural setting. I mean, the snowplows have been out and there is grip, but we're just not kind of set for it on the small country lanes. I couldn't even get up the driveway this morning. I had to park down the bottom of the driveway. I was too scared that I wouldn't get back out. I had to drive 20 miles an hour the whole way here. So I brought all the food up. And yeah, it's been a bit daunting, and that, unfortunately, is more bad stuff on top of an awful situation that happened on Thursday. Now, if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you'll know that we've got two dogs, a little black staffy called Beetle, and then a staffy Ridgeback cross called Bo. Both of our girls are rescues, and Bo, in fact, was going to be put to sleep simply because her microchip address was inaccurate, and they decided that she looked like a dangerous breed and they wouldn't be able to rehome her. So in fact, she was taken into a vet. Our friend was a veterinary nurse at the time. She held Bo hostage until we could get down there, meet her and say, yes, we're going to take her. So on Thursday morning, it wasn't snowy, it wasn't icy, it had rained a little bit. I was still in bed, and I heard Sard open the back door, and I heard Bo run out, and about 2 seconds later, she started screaming like crazy. I leapt out of bed, I ran downstairs, and Sard was in the kitchen just going, oh my God, her legs, oh my God, her legs, what's happened, her legs? And as soon as I got to her, I instantly knew she had done something terrible. It's horrible to see anybody in pain, and to see your pet, your beloved dog, who is part of our family, in pain is even worse because they can't even talk to you. Her eyes were just wide open, her mouth was like gasping for air, and her legs and her tail, her back legs and her tail were gone. No movement. They were completely paralysed. She couldn't stand up. She was just slithering around. Sard was screaming. He was just in utter devastation, and he was saying, you know, I ran out and she was dragging herself back to me. Oh, Jeff, you should have seen how she was dragging herself back to me. And he was just tears streaming down his face. And I just looked at her and I thought, this is bad, especially for Bo, because she is a mega active dog. It's not like she's an old dog. She's only 5, and if you've seen her on the farm blogs, she is hurtling around. She loves life. She lives to come here and run around and bounce. And she would be absolutely adoring all of this snow. So, it was about 8:30 in the morning, none of the vets are open. The nearest emergency vet was like a 40-minute drive, and our vet's is literally 2 minutes drive up the road. And so we waited for half an hour just till they opened. We didn't call. We just bundled her. There was no obvious massive injury. She hadn't broken her leg. She hadn't broken her spine as much as we could see. She had snapped a dew claw and she had scratches all down her leg, but I think that's where she fell after she lost control. So we bundled her into the car, we took her up to the vets, and unfortunately on that day there was no vet on site. So they gave us the emergency number, so we bundled her back into the car and rushed her to the other vets, which is about 20 minutes away. Now obviously an even worse thing at the moment is, because of COVID, we can't even go into the vet's practice with her. So we got to the other place, they grabbed her, they were saying, you know, can we walk her in? I was like, she can't walk. So they picked her up, they took her in, and we just had to sit in the car and wait. After about 15 minutes they came out, and you know how you can tell from somebody, their body language, that it is really bad news? There was no, we can do this and we can do that, we can do this. It was very, this is really severe. And ideally we need to send her for an MRI, but that is going to cost you upwards of £2,500. And at this stage, Sod and I are both still in shock. We don't know what to do. So we decided to leave her there for the day, have an X-ray, fill her full of steroids, opiates, pain meds, and see what happened. So the vet called us about halfway through the day, and had a little bit of good news in that she had some feeling in her legs. So her front legs are fine. She had some movement in her back right leg, and although her left leg was completely dead, there was some deep tissue pain responses. So that gave us a little bit of hope. The X-ray had shown nothing at all, but that's not to be unexpected, because X-rays show bones, and the vet said that sort of nerve damage, slip discs, embolized discs and things like that don't show up on the X-ray. So we left her in there all day. She was on a drip to keep her hydrated, she was on steroids, she was on opiates, and we went and picked her up that evening to take her home, observe her over the night, and then drop her at our vets the following day for observation. At this point, she still couldn't walk at all, she couldn't move any legs, can't move her tail. She had become incontinent as well, so she'd had diarrhea, she'd evacuated herself, but she was also incontinent with her wee, she had no bladder control at all, and it was really looking pretty grim. So Thursday, Sard and I basically just spent most of the day in tears, just thinking, you know, we're going to have to put her to sleep. Now the other thing that was awful was, because she was on all these drugs, she was completely spaced out, so it wasn't like she was there but it wasn't our bow. On Thursday evening she stretched and she did move her back right leg a little bit, so there was hope. So we dropped her at the vets the following day. They looked after her again all day, because I had to go back to our old house. I'd already hired a van by this point to drive 2 hours to our old house to clear it all out, clean it, and then come back. So we just decided, let's drop her at the vets, let's leave her there all day, she's in safe hands, we'll go and we'll come back. Picked her up in the evening, and her right leg had a lot more, she still can't walk on it, but she's trying to use it a little bit. Her left leg, nothing. Her tail has a bit of muscle tone, but it's still fairly floppy. So where are we up to now? So it's been 4 days. Her muscle tone has come back in her right leg, and we're using a sling to help her walk. And when she does that, she does move her right leg forward. She can't really lift it very much, so you have to hold her really high, but she does kind of lift it and move forward. If you stand her up and you put your foot on the side of the right leg to stop it sliding out, she can also weight bear on it. She is finally continent now, so she's holding onto her wee, which is amazing, because the nerves that go to the bladder are right down at the base of the spine near the tail. So that gives good hope that something's going to come back. We've seen flickering muscles in her left leg. She still hasn't moved it at all, but the fact that the muscles are moving a little bit is also good. She's finally had a poo, which is also good. So she can poo. She's got bladder control, And she's a lot more herself. She's trying to roll over, she's licking, she's eating finally. We're still having to syringe water into her because she doesn't want to drink. So it's been a pretty emotional ride. Now we do have insurance, and I think insurance with dogs is massively important as well, because in the UK, if your dog causes a road accident, it's your responsibility. So, in just that situation, have insurance. Unfortunately, our insurance only covers her up to £2,000 per condition each year. So for the same condition, she can have £2,000 every year unlimited, but for one year's worth, it's only £2,000. The MRI costs £2,500, and we've already spent about £650, £700 on her medication so far. So SAR did start up a Just Giving page, and I am massively happy to report people have been so generous, and so far we have made £1,500, and that combined with the leftover insurance money means we can probably get that MRI done. We can see what the issue is, and then we can do rehab, or if she needs surgery, we can get that done. And I will leave the Just Giving link below, not to make you all go and give any money, but it's got all the updates as well on there, so you can see every day we're updating how she's getting on, so you can see how she's getting on and how she's improving. Now, I haven't made this video just as a please help. Of course, if you've got a couple of dollars, the price of a cup of coffee to spare, then please, it would be much appreciated. But I also made this video because we are documenting our farm life, and this is a major thing that's happened to us. It's going to affect us financially, because we're going to pay all the money for her mentally and emotionally. And so I think it's important to share these things because it's what's going on in our life. So please, if you have faith, pray for her. Send positive vibes. We will keep you updated. In the meantime, I'm hoping this snow is going to disappear, because it's bloody freezing, and also getting here is very treacherous. So that's kind of been another nervous issue in my mind, trying to get to the farm, because obviously we don't live here. My car every single trip here is slid and over the road a little bit. So before it gets worse, I'm going to go. But that is the situation with Bo. We are hoping that with the MRI, when we find out what's wrong, with lots of rehab, the signs are all good, that she's moving in the right direction, very slowly, but in the right direction. So the signs are that we will be able to get her mobility back, even if it's just in one leg. If she can be a three-legged dog, fine. But she's not the kind of dog that can be in a wheelchair, a paralysed dog. That's not her. She is an active dog. So yes, please send good karma. If you have faith, please pray. And I'll keep you updated on the situation.